Eagle sculpture.
Alright guys, so for the eagle sculpture project, what we're going to need is materials such as wooden tools, pencil, metal tool, fork, knife, eagle template on paper, water, and canvas board. Now all these tools are tools that you're going to need, and you're going to need by your side at your station. Now here's what the end product is going to look like, or at least we're hoping that it's going to look like. Now I've got this on fast speed in order for it to get done in appropriate time. But basically what I'm doing is I'm taking the template and I've placed it over on a slab of clay that's gone through the slab roller and is in a consistent width. And now I'm going across and basically just putting those shapes into the clay by applying pressure. And now I'm going along with the knife and I'm cutting those shapes out. Now it's important that you're cutting as neat as possible. Reason being is because if you're being sloppy and you don't care about your craftsmanship, then the shapes aren't going to be right, and they're not going to fit together like they're supposed to, and your eagle's not going to look the way that we're hoping that it's going to look. Now as of right now, I'm getting ready to make my base, and I am scoring with a fork, and now I'm slipping with water. All I need is just a little bit of water on both sides, and I've scored it on both sides, and now connect it. The water makes it moist enough to where it turns into a little muddy solution, and now we are connecting. Now I'm not pinching, I'm not thinning the clay out. It's very, very important that you don't do that. We do not want the space to become larger. We want that space to become the same amount of material, just connecting the seams so that you can't see a seam. Therefore it looks like all one body. Now I'm grabbing the head portion, and again I'm going to connect two sides, two flat sides right there. And again I'm going to score and slip. Now the head, where the beak goes into, it's a small area. You just got to be really, really careful. You might see just a little bit of cracking. If that's the case, just a little drip of water, not a big deal. No need to panic. But again, score and slip. If you don't score and slip, most likely it's not going to stay together through the drying process and through the kiln. Again, it's extremely important to remember not to pinch. We do not want the mouth of the eagle to look like a gaping hole. We want it to stay the same size. And you can see I'm not pushing with my fingers. I'm just connecting them. I'm just applying a little bit of pressure and then using the tool to rub away the seam, so that again it just becomes one piece. Connecting the top to the bottom, make sure that you're going to place it on right. Score both sides and slip both sides. Now when connecting them, again, we don't want to thin out the wall. What we want to do is apply that pressure and then connect the seams. You can push the seams together with your fingers, just to get it started, and then you can go back through with the tool. It's important that you get the outside and the inside. It doesn't really matter how nice the inside looks. Nobody's going to see the inside as long as it's pushed or smoothed together. Now it's time for the beak. Now the beaks, the top and the bottom beak, they're both really small pieces. And also, the area in which you're going to put them in, they're small areas. And using our fingers is not necessarily the best idea. Our fingers are fat and large compared to the tools that we're able to use. So it's very important that we use the tools. We need to score and slip. Always score and slip when we're connecting clay to clay. Apply pressure, connecting side to side, and then use those tools and work out those seams. Outside and inside. Now that I've got the beak on, I've got a shade bit. Make it the way that I want it. It needs to have a nice curve on it. And right there, that's an excellent start. Now it's time to make sure that from this point on, we're thinking symmetrical. Symmetrical is what's one way on one side is the exact same way on the other side. So where we place the brow on the head, it needs to be the same way on the other side of the head. Now I'm taking this metal tool that has a loop on the end. It's great for scraping clay off of a surface. It's best to take off a little bit rather than a ton. And we want that gradual thickness change. We don't want to go straight from a really thin wall to a super thick wall. We really want to give it a gradual thickness change. And you can see that's what I'm doing right now. Slowly working it. The reason why we're doing this is to create a brow on our eagle. So that way we have an area where the eye looks as though it actually sits in the head rather than just resting on the head. Again, I see some of the seams from the mouth just coming apart, no biggie. Just working it with a wooden tool, making sure that those stay the same. Now, there's two different ways you can do the eye. You can roll a little ball, and you can place it on there, and then put a pupil in it. If you're going to do that, make sure you score and slip. But the way that I like to do it, I like to use a pencil. I like to place a little indentation for the pupil, and then take away clay on the outline of the iris, just like so. And then that excess clay from the side of the iris, just take away and give it a gradual change of thickness. Now what's difficult now is to try to get it the exact same way on the other side. You don't want one eye that's closer to the beak than the other. And now comes my favorite part. It's the feathers, because really this is the part where you get to make your eagle yours, because the feathers are always unique, different compared to everybody else's. I like to make my feathers nice and deep, the texture deep into the eagle's head. It creates different intensity levels of value, the way that the shadows hit on the head. It creates dark shadows. Really light values where the light hits off the feathers. So it's totally up to you. This you can use with a fork, a pencil, one of the wooden tools. You could even do it with a knife. Whatever works best for you. Again, around the eyes, you might want to use the eye as almost like a sun and take the feathers away from the eye as if it was rays of light, sunlight. And top of the head, it goes straight down the head. And that's basically the eagle. I mean, you guys seen it live, and now you've seen it on video. Once you get the hang of it, it goes along pretty easy. Can't wait to see your guys' finished product.
Eagle sculpture.